This is Mike Hendrickson from Strata Santa Clara. I'm here with Eric Frenkiel. Eric, how you doing?
Really well, thanks for having me.
So you, about 3 years ago, were at Strata.
Yep.
And it was your first Strata.
Yep.
Can you describe a little bit about what you guys did there?
Yeah, so this was Strata 2011. We were at the Startup Showcase and we were showing some very early parts of the technology to Strata at large. It was a lot of fun.
And how did you guys do in the Startup Showcase?
Well, we won first place.
You did? Yep.
It was a phenomenal experience. We actually consumed the entire Twitter fire hose into our database, and we're analyzing it in real time on a single machine. It was very cool. One of our investors actually met us to that showcase, and we got connected to them.
And so 3 years later, you have about 40 people, and you guys are targeting the enterprise world?
Yeah. Well, we were always very unusual in that we had that target from the very beginning.
Yeah, focus.
Building a very fast in-memory database, you go towards the workloads that matter. Today, it's, as you said, a little under 40 people. We just completed our Series B with Excel and Khosla, so $45 million into the company to date. A couple of years ago,
3 years,
we were definitely just showing it off at Strata Showcase.
Yeah, someone did a talk about in 5 minutes, but you could talk about it in 3 years. But
right.
So let's talk about that 3 years. So you focused on the enterprise, and in-memory solutions are there's quite a few of them. Mm-hmm. What makes you guys different in your?
So I think in-memory is seeing a big resurgence with big data having sort of solved the volume aspect to do really filling a big hole there. The next frontier is velocity. What makes us different is that we have had always a focus on a SQL relational interface. We distribute on commodity hardware. And fundamentally, it helps with a real-time analytics use case because we can use the parallelism of the system to give down to the second analytics.
So a SQL relational solution, not a NoSQL solution.
Yeah. When we started the company, it was very out of vogue, and I use that word deliberately. It was definitely out of vogue to be working on SQL. I think we've seen a big resurgence in SQL. Even Google and more of their recent databases have moved back into the relational realm. I think it's really because it resonates with developers. Everyone knows it. Business people know it. And we saw that even 3 years ago.
So what kind of enterprises do you see most in need of your kind of solutions?
We've had a lot of great uptick in ad tech, fintech, and e-commerce. And I think what you see across all of those industries is just the need for analyzing data quickly and making a decision very quickly.
Now, is that because they're typically companies that have relational database, relational technology still in play?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, fintech was one of the early adopters, of course, of the relational systems way back in the day. But it's really about dealing with new data workloads. There's more data flowing into an enterprise. And if you don't actually increase the pipe to consume it and analyze it, you're going to be falling behind on your basic analytics. Your basic data reporting is going to fall behind. So using memory is a great way to do that.
So what do you see as the future for you guys? Where do you want to take your company in the next, let's not do 3 years, let's do even 1 year from now. Where would you like to be?
Well, a lot happens in startup land in even a matter of a year.
Yeah.
We just announced our new column store. We're super excited about that because it really pairs a in-memory row engine with a compressed column store on flash or disk. And what that enables you to do is to store massive amounts of data very efficiently. One of our customers in production with that system, for example, is storing 250 trillion records on just 6 machines on Amazon.
Wow.
So it's amazing what you can do with a row store and a column store together. And for us, that's sort of where we'll be going over the next year is building out that column store even more.
So another theme that I've been hearing about it here is the Internet of Things, Internet of Everything, industrial internet, machine data. Are you guys going to address that as well? Is there
the very nature of our technology enables us to address that perfectly. The Internet of Things fundamentally speaks to the advent of sensors. By 2020, there'll be 50 trillion sensors globally. All of those sensors can generate a lot of data, and you need a system that can consume it, at every granular element, analyze it, and then decide on what to do with it. So within, how sensors are growing, how machine data is growing, having a system that can consume, hundreds of thousands of events per second, millions of events per second, I think will become the default for many enterprises.
Yeah. And then have a real-time solution that gets insight into the data.
We do that today. So many of our customers can consume millions of events per second on commodity hardware. I mean, I think that's the real emphasis here, is that you can get a lot of efficiency and power out of very basic one-use servers with 2 sockets. you just combine them all together in a multitude, you get a great product. It's how Facebook scaled. Both my co-founder and I were previously engineers at Facebook, and we're really bringing that Facebook-style analysis to the rest of the enterprise.
Excellent. So, Eric, if there was one problem in the world that you could solve with data, and by applying a data solution to that problem, you could change how it exists right now, what would that be?
So I think we live in a very special time, anyone in Silicon Valley, anyone in the United States. But it's really about how can you improve others' lives, whether if they don't have the right water, the right food, they're not getting the right medicine. Fundamentally, I think if we can understand how we can use data to improve lives that are not necessarily in the developed world, there's a lot of good there that I think doesn't actually require all that much effort compared to curing cancer, for example. So I think that's an easy win. Really helping folks that are not getting the right water.
Resource allocation.
Resource allocation.
Yeah, excellent. Eric, we look forward to seeing you next year.
Likewise, thanks for having me.